Hello and welcome everybody out to our very late July Game of the Month discussion number 38 for StarCraft II, the long awaited and anticipated sequel to the 1998 Game of the Year, StarCraft. Who would have guessed that with a 2 in the name? I mean,
it's a twist.
Shocker. This is brand new information. Anyway, so StarCraft II had a very interesting release cycle. So it released in 3 separate parts over, like 7, 8 years? I don't even remember. It was a very long time to actually finish the game. And so I was a big fan of the original StarCraft. We actually have a Game of the Month discussion on StarCraft where you can hear us talk about the original if you're interested. You'll find the playlist up in the upper right-hand corner, wherever the frick that is, or down in the description below. And you can check out our thoughts on that if you are curious. But anyway, joining me this month, we have the one and only SMWiz, and we're good to go.
In the head.
Got plenty of those right now. But anyway, so StarCraft II came out in 2011 with its first campaign, StarCraft II Wings of Liberty, which was purely Terran focused, and oh, what a fun launch that one was for me, because I'm just gonna go ahead and take it away first here this month, I guess. But so I went to the midnight release for this game, and I really wanted to play through at least 1 or 2 levels before going to bed, but unfortunately the game had a massive install and downloads needed to actually play. And at that time, our internet was a Verizon cell phone adapter that I had, a PCMI A card adapter at that I had plugged into a laptop and was just sharing throughout the household. So this was a 2G connection. And needless to say, it took a million years to get everything installed and downloaded, and by that point, it was about 2 in the morning, so I played through the first 2 missions, and then went to bed. And then, nice and bright and early at 5 a.m., I went off to MEPS! Oh, so glorious decision on my part, but thankfully, the drive to MEPS was a couple hours, so I just slept in the transport van. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, and I don't want to be this guy. I'm gonna do it because if I don't do it, someone's gonna do it to you in the comments. Actually, 2010 on Wings of Liberty.
You are right. You're right. I'm thinking about. I'm way too ahead. You're right. 2010. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
2010 Wings of Liberty, and I was a poor, starving college student. So I couldn't actually afford the game, so all I had to do was break down and cry in a fetal position, because I couldn't play the sequel to like my favorite game. Uh, uh, and it's funny because my journey with StarCraft II had a start slightly before the release date because Blizzard, had a closed beta, and so you could get keys if you knew somebody, and our local game store got 2 keys, and they wanted to figure out a way to do this fair, and so they held a tournament, where you went and played StarCraft the board game, and the 2 people who won would get the 2 keys. Which I have StarCraft the board game, Fantasy Flight or whatever. Very fun to play, intense to learn and start up. Like it's a half-hour setup, and the very first time you play, it takes an hour to go through the rules. Okay, but anyways, only 4 people sign up for this, so I'm like, okay, I got a 50-50 shot of like winning this thing, right? Getting one of these keys. 2 of the guys who are in this are buddies, like roommates or whatever, and so they clock it that so, and the thing is too, because only 4 people showed up for the tournament, and so the game store is like, yeah, we're not going to do tiers on this anymore. It's just going to be 4-player free for all. And the two buddies are like, well, as long as we don't attack each other, we both get a key. So I turned to Randy, who's next to me, and I'm like, okay, so you and I have to be a team. And he's like, no, I don't trust you. I don't know you. And I'm like, you're literally sitting across the table from two guys who said they're making an alliance to destroy you and me. So your choice is 2v2 or 1v1v2. Which one of those do you think is better? And he's like, no, don't trust you. So,
Well, that guy's foolish. Like, that's
yeah,
just...
yeah, he
Enemy and my
is.
enemy is my friend in this situation, and if you got a 50-50 shot against a team... Yeah. Alright, yeah, that guy's just stupid. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But, so, we both lost. The two guys who were, colluding together won because, go figure, you know. But I did make sure Randy went out before me just on principle
Yeah,
of
more
merit.
on Randy.
Yeah. But yeah, so missed out on my chance for early access. Luckily, my dad took pity on me and sent me a copy shortly after it released, so I got to play. Um, but yeah, doing the download and the install on the garbage college Wi-Fi that was like about dial-up speed. Yeah, I set that to go when I went to bed so that it could be done in the morning.
See, that's what I normally would have done, but I really wanted to try it before being gone for 2 days. Like, I really just
I just
needed to try it.
I knew that it wouldn't work from like experience. Like there were times because like the Wi-Fi was shared for our entire building, and so when I say dial-up speed, it wasn't that the internet was bad if it was just going to be for one apartment, but when it was for like 30 apartments, it was unusable during the daytime. You had to be in the off hours to make use of it.
It's when you become a freaking night owl to the extreme, definitely. Oh, man.
I
Yeah.
was already a night owl, but yeah, no, it was great. I could watch Hulu at 2 o'clock in the morning, no problem.
Rip Hulu. It's going away
Yeah,
soon.
Hulu.
Stupid Disney.
Disney already ruined it, but
Disney
yeah.
Disney ruins everything now, dude. That's all there is to say about
Eh,
it.
Anyways, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole. We
We
have
do
plenty of
not.
other things to do drive-bys on as we get into this discussion. But yeah, so yeah, I've got my StarCraft II Wings of Liberty there, and then Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void, which this one I know came out in March of 2013, and I only know that because I got a promotion like at the exact same time, and I used that as a justification to convince my wife that it was all right for me to buy this really stupid expensive box.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah. Heart of the Swarm. I got that one when it came out as well. I just got the standard edition. And the fact that the Blizzard games all came with notepads was like really funny to me. Like I would use those and like have the special notepads for the different StarCraft
Yep.
games at the time. But anyway, um, but yeah, like Heart of the Swarm was the last one I bought. I actually didn't play Legacy of the Void when it came out. I didn't play
Wow.
Legacy of the Void until last year when me and another friend were playing through StarCraft II co-ops. Up there it is. There's the stationery. Yeah, so all three of the games had their own special stationery. So it was funny. Um,
It's like, hey, does anybody in the chat need a guest pass to join StarCraft 2?
oh yeah, that's gonna be so useful now.
Now that the game's gone free to play, does anybody need a guest pass so you can play it without buying it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense that it went free to play after a while, but the thing that I didn't like is that they combined all three campaigns into one purchase. It's like I just needed Legacy of the Void, and I had to rebuy both of them. So thankfully I waited till it was on sale, so it was like $15-$20 for Legacy of the Void. But
Yeah, thanks, Activision.
yeah,
Really appreciate you messing around in our Blizzard environment.
yeah, pretty much. Um, but anyway, like Wings of Liberty, like that's the one that sticks with me the most as we
Mhm.
talk on this discussion because the campaign was a lot of fun for me. I loved the way that this stuff was structured. Um, and like the cool thing about the campaign is like it just feels like a really wonderful continuation of StarCraft 1 with all these new units, and you get to see the return of the old units and the fact that you get the upgrades as you progress that give you like these super cool abilities and like totally break the game. and it's like just so ridiculously fun, and I loved it so much. And so they continued that on with the next two campaigns as well, which is still really fun. And you get to choose between like one or two branches on the upgrade paths, and so it made the campaign really interesting and fun to like actually get through. On top of like the actual good gameplay. But Wings of Liberty is especially broken because Marines and medics.
With
They made
dropships.
the Marines so much better in this game, and the medics were super good too. And then you get the upgrades that make them even better. And so you can play through all of Wings of Liberty on normal and hard by purely spamming Marines and medics and not worrying about anything else throughout the entire game. And ask me how I know that. Obviously, when you get to the harder, the difficulties above hard, it's not as effective. You need to actually strategize a bit more. But it was just hilarious how every single mission was just like, all right, I got my 3 barracks up and got the little thingy expansion on the side that lets you build 2 units at once. And so it's like, all right, those are pumping out Marines. 2 of those are pumping out Marines. The 3rd barracks is pumping out medics. And it's like, it's over. It's just
Reactors and tech labs.
over.
So you looked at this game and you said, "What if Zerg Rush but Terran?"
Exactly. And stim pack all the way, man. Yeah, got some stuff.
Oh,
Jacked
man.
up and good to go.
See, it's funny. I'm glad you enjoyed the campaign so much. I'm very up and down on it actually. There's some things that I really love, like also, and I mean, it's it's a quality of life feature. Being able to hit F1 to go to an idle worker, that is just pure gold. Like, can
Yes,
we?
it is.
That's why when they announced that they were remastering StarCraft One, I'm like, okay, I don't want you to mess with the balance of the game at all. But if you would please add in one teeny tiny little feature, F1 for my idle SCVs, you can take all my money, just all of it. Like that's I don't need you to fix anything else in the original StarCraft, just that one thing, you know?
I can't remember. Didn't StarCraft 64 have one of its Z button hotkeys was to select idle SCVs even? Like,
It might have
or
been.
idle workers, I guess. Like,
It's been a
I think
while.
they added that to StarCraft 64 even, which was really funny.
Yeah.
But,
But yeah, it's like there are elements of the campaign that I think are really cool. It's kind of interesting having like a base that you go to in between missions,
yeah.
being able to, upgrade. I waffle on how you got the points for the upgrades because it meant that sometimes you had to grind campaign missions because you weren't able to fully explore the map in time or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but like the idea of it, the concept was cool.
Yeah.
I liked being able to customize things and then was upset that those customizations did not carry over to multiplayer. Very frustrating. I don't know why you basically created 2 different tech trees of this game where you have a campaign tech tree and a multiplayer tech tree.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't care for that either a whole
I don't
lot.
like that.
It made it
Um,
It made it so I wasn't as invested in the multiplayer this time around, unfortunately. But we could talk about that more in a bit.
yeah, no,
Let's spend
I
some
feel
time
that
with
same thing
campaign.
where I was a lot less interested in the multiplayer in this game, mostly because like I made these cool choices in the campaign, and then you go to the multiplayer and they aren't there.
Well, I mean, it would have made it
Um,
too broken, though. I mean, it is what it is. But like, just the available units for multiplayer, though, that's what saddened me the
yeah,
most. But yeah,
yeah.
um,
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
you touched on some of that, but yeah, like being able to like add defense turrets to your bunkers,
Oh, it's
like
so
such a
good,
small thing, but like
so
so
good.
good. Being able to airdrop in supply depots instead of having to
That was
build them.
glorious.
I literally don't even remember what the other option was because it's like you mean instead of build, I just say here and it drops in instantly. That's an absolute no brainer.
Yeah, and the Protoss campaign getting you just instantly have 200 supply. You don't even need to
Yeah,
build pylons except to power stuff now. It's like, yeah, let's go.
yeah.
Um, and then
Being
warping
able
units to
to,
pylons and all that, like it's so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then the building upgrades and stuff you could do, like being able to have your supply depots burrow into the ground basically and lay
Oh,
flat.
dude,
Like no more
yes,
SCVs getting trapped behind a wall of
yes,
supply depots.
and it
No more
made
units getting stuck trying to navigate through the middle of the base.
yeah, it was so good, and it was great too because like if you played Terran. against computers, you could still supply deep a wall, the entrance to your base, put bunkers behind it, and they'd still target your bunkers first, but it still stopped the melee units from getting to them for a while, which was cool. And then
Yep.
since you could burrow them, you could still get units out of your base instead of having to rely on pure air like in original StarCraft, which was fun. So I mean, this is all like anyone that plays StarCraft 2 like competitively is like, oh my gosh, you guys suck. But it's like it's still fun to do. Like it's when you're learning the game, like new players will do it. And like even someone that's been playing StarCraft since 1998 will do it just for the fun of it, just for the lulz. Because
Mhm.
sometimes it's just fun to casually play it and all that. And like I gave up on competitive StarCraft long into StarCraft 1 ladder, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's still fun. It's still really fun.
yeah. So I mean, there's a lot that I like in the campaign. We also get a cool number of animated cutscenes. That's
Yes,
fun.
it is.
Which we should talk about more. For me, though, what pulls the campaign down for me, and I realize that this is a quirk or an eccentricity to me specifically, and you know how I play games.
I
You know,
don't
I got
really.
if it moves, it dies. You know, I'm very much a salt the earth type of player. And the problem with the StarCraft campaign is so many of the levels, even if they don't have an explicit timer on the screen, are timed
Hmm.
because they have timed elements in them. You know, stop the train before it can escape. You know, stay ahead of the wall of Nova fire. You know, clear out these things in the nighttime only. Don't or in the daytime only. Don't be out at night. You know,
Yeah,
just like it's all this stuff where it it shoehorned me into playing the way that the game wanted me to play instead of letting me do what I wanted to do.
yeah,
And so like for me, like that brings the campaign down because it forced this, you know, kind of much more linear path. It didn't want me exploring the map. It didn't want me destroying every single building.
yeah.
And so it's like that's a negative for me personally.
And I mean, it's a fair critique as well. Um, but you were talking earlier about how you get the base that you're basically in for each
Yep.
campaign, where you could do the upgrades and all stuff. But it also just really lets you expand on the story as well because there's different people you talk to in each of the
Yep.
campaigns, and so like I believe on Wings of Liberty you're on the Hyperion,
Yeah, well
or
you start in the bar and
yeah,
then you go to the
you
Hyperion.
go to the
But yeah,
Hyperion. Um, for the Zerg, you're just in like that crazy like brood thing.
mother, yeah.
Yeah. And then Protoss are in their ship.
Yeah,
I don't remember the
you're
name of
on,
it.
you know, yeah, an armada ship or
Yeah,
whatever.
I don't remember the name of it sadly, even though I just barely played through that last year.
Yep.
Um, but the story for Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, I really liked. I really liked the story on it. It may not be the best story ever made, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with it. And so like Wings of Liberty, you're going after a good old Minsk again, and it's just like,
Cuz he needs to die.
yes, he does. And so like
He
you
needs to
team up with
die.
his son and all that other stuff, and it's all ridiculous. And the whole point of it is to also save Kerrigan for Wings of Liberty.
Yep.
Like you, spoiler alert, if you haven't played StarCraft 2 in the last 15 years, uh, you get to turn Kerrigan back into a human instead of the Queen of Blades at
Yep.
the end of Wings of Liberty. And like that was like one of the coolest cutscenes. Like
Oh yeah.
it was so good. And then, of
So
course, Heart of the Swarm comes out, and Kerrigan's like, I hate being human. I want to go back to being a Zerg.
so
And she turns
yeah,
herself back into a Zerg.
yeah, so you talk about the story. I was like, yeah, let's chunk it out, okay? So, yeah, we'll call Act 1 was
Yep.
Wings of Liberty.
Yep. Yep.
Pure cinema.
It's
No
so good.
notes.
It's
Just like
so good. It
love
is so
and
good.
actually tiny itty bitty baby minor note that the Tychus betrayal is telegraphed in the opening of the game because Arcturus Minx is telling him that he can earn his freedom. And you're like, oh, I wonder how he will earn his freedom. And then he shows up to see Jimmy. It's like,
Mm.
you're my old friend. Oh, they let you out? It's like parole for good behavior. It's like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
okay, all right. So we know how this ends, right?
Yeah, we know we're gonna have to kill him.
We know we're gonna kill him because he's gonna betray us.
Yep.
Like, so it's like, I know they were going for kind of like a cool twist, but then they threw that away by the setup in
Yeah,
the.
they gave
It's
it away.
literally it's the first cutscene of the game. It's the very first one, you know.
Hmm.
So, anyways, like but I mean, like that's my minor note. The story, you know, is cool as it envelops. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, Getting to actually save Kerrigan is wild.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
insane.
honestly playing it, I didn't think it was gonna work. I really didn't. I totally thought they were setting us up for disappointment. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is cool.
And then you just
You know,
see
kind of
Rainer
weird that she
walking out of
still
that
has,
tunnel
you know,
carrying her and all that, and it's just like,
her
oh,
tendril hair, but
oh,
you know, whatever. You
yeah,
can't win them all, right?
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the whole first one is Jim saving Sarah,
Yep.
and then number two starts with Sarah going, "Yeah, nah,
Yeah, this
nah,
sucks. Being
I don't
human
like it.
sucks. Yeah.
No me gusta." You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
I liked being
and
evolved,
and
being able to
and
heal
it's and
myself.
instead, you know, doubles down. Not only am I going to be a Zerg, I'm going to go be a super Zerg. I'm going to be more powerful than I was before.
Yeah, we're gonna go double scorched earth on humans. Because that's the other thing
Yeah,
too. Like the story starts off like what is it, like 6 years after StarCraft One, and like she hasn't attacked anybody in that 6 years. Like
yeah.
she let them rebuild and everything. It's just like
Which
biding her
is such a
time.
weird end after the end of Brood War.
It really
It's
is.
it's such a weird ending.
It
Like,
it is.
but um, but honestly though, too, it's like the story gets super weird. Like
It does.
everything, the entire Zeratul thread, you know,
Dude,
and learning about, you know, like going into the void and like having the visions of, you know, their forerunners,
yeah.
and you know, and then in, you know, the third one with Amon and everything
Dude,
tied to that,
I was
and
so
and
disappointed by the
and
Protoss
then, you know,
campaign.
yeah, Kerrigan, because again, we're not done transforming. This isn't even my final form. It's like, I'm going to be a new forerunner, and I'll go kill the old forerunner, and we'll go into a pocket dimension to really super duper kill him. And it's like, what are we doing?
I did
This
not
is
like
so
I
this
did
is
not like
so
Legacy
off
of
the
the Void.
rails, and
Did not like it.
like when you look at the story and the structure of StarCraft 1, it really just feels completely like out of left field. And I know there's going to be somebody who's going to come in and be like, "Oh, well yeah, the secret mission in StarCraft introduced the whole Protoss Zerg hybrid." I'm not arguing that point,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I'm arguing the decision they made with what to do with that afterwards
Yeah.
is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Because like when you play StarCraft 1, ultimately it's political intrigue, thrill, and betrayal. Like that's what defines StarCraft One.
Really does.
And StarCraft One has a phenomenal story.
Oh,
And so
StarCraft One
like,
and Brood War is just
and Brood War, yeah.
so
And
good.
sorry, I
So
put
good.
those together. I
Yeah,
put
yeah,
those
I know,
together.
I know.
It's one game in my mind.
Yeah.
Um I know not officially, whatever. But yeah, so Wings of Liberty didn't feel like it got to that benchmark, but like it was in the same vein. And I was very happy with it, you know?
Yeah. I enjoy
Um
my time with Wings of Liberty. That's the only one I
yeah.
really actually went back and played for this game of the month because they're just so long. Like they made these long. Like when they announced they were going to be 3 separate campaigns, I was like, "Oh crap, that sucks. It's only going to be like 9 missions because that's how long each campaign
Yeah.
was in StarCraft 1." And it's like, "Nah, it's 27ish or something like that." And it's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And then Heart of the Swarm came out. It's like, "Yeah, it's just as many missions." Like, okay, I hate the Zerg, so that might be a little too long for me. But no,
Is the
that
Zerg
campaign
suck?
was still good. Like, Heart of the Swarm was still a good campaign. It just kind of seemed funny how they literally throw away everything you did in the first campaign, like right out of the gate.
It's so fat. Dude, you know what they did? They hit us with the Star Wars Episode 8. That Ryan Johnson came in and went, "Nah, I don't like any of that. We're
No,
not
no, no,
doing any
no.
of that."
Technically, he built on what he was given because J.J. Abrams gave him nothing useful to build on. But the whole sequel trilogy is
This
just like
this
that, to be
this is a
honest.
this is a whole other discussion. We could sit here for 2 hours and we can't do that in this. But it was the highest level bullet points. I was like, he gave him Snope to do something with. He gave him a
Did
Kylo
he?
Ren who had made the decision to kill his father.
What
Okay.
was he gonna
He
do with
gave
that? What does that inherently give you? But that's again a whole
Yeah,
other conversation.
it's a whole other discussion. But
um,
here's the thing. You may not have liked the starting point. It is an wild decision to just be like, nah, reset on part 2 of a trilogy. It's
well, I
like,
mean, it didn't
okay,
reset though. It built on what he was given. You just people just don't like what it was built on, and
we're
that's
we're
you could be
yeah.
for or pro against
er,
that. Doesn't really matter. It was 9 that literally said, "Nah, screw everything that came before," and totally hit the reset button.
Well, that's what it ultimately means is all 3 of them were resets.
They were. All 3 of them
All 3
sucked.
of them were resets.
All 3 of
Yeah,
them sucked. That's all it really comes down to. So at least for StarCraft
it's
II,
it's
only
it's
Legacy of the
almost
Void sucked.
there's the camera. It's almost like Kathleen Kennedy treating Star Wars like it was an indie student film and not having a plot before you hired 3 directors to script and direct these movies was a bad idea.
We bought Star Wars. We need
And
to put something out of the gate instantly. We don't need to take time to plan this. Anyway.
even just the high level plot, like
Yeah,
beginning, middle, end, and then
dude.
get these 3 guys together to talk to each other and figure out how they're going to make that happen. No, just you set them loose in the wild.
You know, all they needed to have
Anyways,
done was just adapt Heir of the Empire.
you know what? I'm okay with ignoring the expanded universe. And again, we don't have the time. We don't have the time to get into all of this. You and I could literally talk about this for hours.
Oh, yeah, we could.
But
Uh,
but
yeah.
anyways, but StarCraft, yeah, the Heart of the Swarm just hitting reset.
Yeah,
It
it really did.
felt it felt really like disheartening to
Yeah.
have everything you did suddenly not matter
Yeah,
at all,
it felt like
even a
it
little bit.
completely eradicated Wings of Liberty's entire point, which in and of itself can be good storytelling. Whether or not you like it is a whole other matter.
Well, I
But
feel like there's gotta be a payoff for it, you
yeah,
know? And
well,
maybe if, and maybe if Legacy of the Void had not been like,
Mass
stoned out of its
Effect, but
mind,
bad.
like I just like it's so weird what they did with the StarCraft lore.
Yeah, it. I do not like Legacy of the Void story that much. Like it just because like
Yeah, I
the
mean,
end of
like you
Heart of
you
the
could have
Swarm,
fun
like
gameplay, but
Kerrigan's just absolutely murking on Manx. Like you do the entire like we're burning Core Hall to the ground once again,
mm,
and this time we mean it. Like approach to it. Like that was a cool freaking mission. And I don't even like Zerg. Like I hate playing as Zerg, and I'm like, this is one of the coolest missions just because like you just have the freaking Zerg drop pods coming in and, like decimating the city the whole time. It's just like this is cool. And like the cutscene that led up to that, oh my gosh, like that Ultralisk and those
yep,
soldiers, oh my
running through the
gosh.
streets,
Oh, it's
yeah.
so good.
It was so
Like
good.
it was
I
so
was
good.
also sitting here like, kids, like we're gonna get Minx, we're gonna get Minx, we're gonna get Minx. It's coming. It's finally gonna happen. It's finally gonna happen. I've been waiting since 1998 for this.
I know, seriously. Oh, it was so good. So good. But then again, like Legacy of the Void just like, oh, all of a sudden this I don't even remember what they were called. But he's just like, we just took over the Zerg and the Protoss. F you. And it's
Yeah,
like the Protoss having the Kala chips or whatever in them. It's like, what the frick is that?
it's so weird,
Like we cut
man.
ourselves off from the
But
Kala. Now we're all Dark Templar. It's like, okay. Like it's so
which is like
dumb.
another thing because I was confused by it. It's like because yeah, they make a huge deal in the first StarCraft about the difference culturally between your traditional Protoss, who are all connected to each other through the void,
Mm-hmm.
through the psionics and everything, versus their heretic brethren who've severed themselves.
Yeah.
That needed to be a bigger deal if they were going to do that in Legacy of the Void. Because yeah, Zeratul, with his dying breath, you know, slicing and freeing,
Artanis, yeah.
Artanis, yeah. And it's like now you've against his will forced him to be a heretic, you
Yeah.
know. He
Yeah.
explains what's going on before he dies. Like this needed to be a bigger deal, like this shift and everything.
And then they
Right.
had the whole robotic species going on too, which was just so weird.
Yeah, like this the whole thing is odd. Like,
I feel like they had a completely different writing staff for Legacy of the Void just because it took so long for it to come out after the other two, it feels like.
yeah, I don't know. Like it just whether it was different writing staff or whatever, but like again, it felt like this story suddenly took a very sharp turn off the
Yeah.
path we were on.
Yeah, it
And so
didn't
yeah, it's
it
not satisfying.
it didn't feel like the continuation of what we had just played through for the other two. That's for sure. Like
Yeah.
there were still some pretty cool missions in it, and I like Protoss and Terran the most, so like I enjoyed playing through it, but it didn't give me anywhere near the amount of joy that Wings of Liberty still does.
Mhm.
And like it didn't have like some of the more interesting aspects of Heart of the Swarm, and so it's like it just sits there as like, man, like after those two, like the game was a pretty solid like 9.5 for me, and it's like this campaign just dragged it down to an 8. Like it's I didn't care for it. Like I really did not. And
Yeah, yeah, I didn't really feel compelled to go back and like relive the story.
like again, I was really enjoying playing through Wings of Liberty again for
Mhm.
this month's discussion. I didn't make it to Heart of the Swarm, but I just played through Legacy of the Void, so that's still mostly fresh in here. But yeah, it's like maybe it was because I didn't play it at launch that I didn't care for it as much. I spent a lot of time thinking about that, but was like, no, if that was the case, I wouldn't be enjoying Wings of Liberty as much as I am right now because I have not played that since launch. And so, like, that is not fresh at all. So that was basically like a brand new experience too. And it's like, no, this is still super fun. Like, the missions are pretty easy, but it's still enjoyable. But I just I don't care for
Yeah,
Legacy of the
it's
Void.
it's just kind of funny. It feels like the opening salvo was the most powerful. Like,
Yeah,
Wings of Liberty, I think, is the best of the three titles.
I agree with that, but most of that just comes from the fact of not liking Zerg. Because it's like if I liked playing as Zerg more, that would probably be my favorite one, just for some of the things that happen in it with the that last those last few fights especially.
Yeah, maybe I don't enjoy playing as the Zerg either. But even enjoying playing as the Zerg, just the narrative decision of turning Kerrigan back and turning her back immediately. This is the
Yeah,
thing.
it's
It's not even
literally
like it
like
was at the end.
it's like
It
three
wasn't the
missions
end of the
in, isn't
game.
it?
It was the start,
It's like three
It's the
missions
start
in.
where she's just like, you know what, actually this I don't like this. This ain't it, fam. It's
Yeah, like
like
screw you, dude. I'm gonna go be Queen of Blades again. Why wouldn't I want to command an entire species? Yeah, it's something else. Um, but
oh,
that's
also Zelnaga, that's the word I was looking
Zelnaga.
for.
Yes, yes, yes. The
I was
Zelnaga
saying
created the
I
Zerg
was
and the
saying the
Protoss.
Forerunners because I'm like, there's probably enough Halo fans. We'll all get it. It's like Zelnaga.
The
Yeah,
Zelnaga.
having
Yes.
having Kerrigan become a Zelnaga. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
And it's like, why on earth would anyone trust her after she's killed billions of people? And again, she just wiped
And
Korhal back into
and
a desert.
how many times she betrayed us in the original StarCraft? Like, think about the
Yes.
betrayals in Brood War and stuff.
Yes. I mean, she killed freaking Phoenix again, which makes Zero happy. Shout out to Zero real quick on that one. Um, but anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, like, cool missions aside, because yeah, again, you heard it's like I love missions where you lay waste to your foes,
Hmm.
but like the story of the game brings it down for me.
Yeah, it's interesting, that's for sure. Um, but so I stopped playing it shortly after Heart of the Swarm came out. And so after it went free to play, they added in but maybe before it went free to play, I don't know the exact timeline, but when we came back to it last year, they had added in a crap ton more stuff to this game that I hadn't ever really seen before. And so they have an entire co-op section where you can play missions in co-op, and that is pretty fun. They're not very long, and there's not very many of them, so you end up replaying them a lot. But um, like we got a lot of like we played those for a few months nonstop, just trying to up the difficulty levels and get better at them. And oh man, the one where you're on the planet where the lava is rising, and you have to get
The
the
resources.
crystals to stop it and
Yeah.
stabilize the planet again. Like we would make fun of the TV announcer on that one so much because it was just so ridiculous. And oh my gosh, it's like J. Jonah Jameson is like who they were trying to mimic in that one. It was fantastic. But that was really fun. Like it's really fun to play those co-op missions with a friend that's into StarCraft, and so like that was a cool addition. And so you get to pick a bunch of different commanders, and each one has their own separate builds and abilities
Hmm.
and specials to it, and it was really cool. Unfortunately, you have to pay for a lot of them, but they're like
Yeah,
two
most of them.
bucks or something, $2 or $3, and so like we bought a couple of them, and it's like, yeah, this was fun.
Again, thank you, Activision, for
I know,
messing with
right?
our Blizzard environment.
Yeah, but I mean, free. It was free to get co-op at least, so and you get like 5 or 6 to play with without paying for it, so you don't have to pay for it. It's just if you want to have really weird stuff, you can pay for it. And
If
it's
you want
cool
to,
to
if you want
see
to
how they
experience the
can.
full game,
It's cool to see how you can combine the two different commanders to like really synergize it too. Like it's a fun experience. Like if you haven't checked out co-op, like definitely worth the time. It's a lot of fun. Um, But yeah, I mean, gameplay wise, we haven't even really talked about gameplay because it's StarCraft. If you played StarCraft 1, it's practically identical
I,
for StarCraft 2. Like, they kept it so similar that the only really big change was the hotkeys. And so they made it so it was one handed hotkeys instead of being spread across the entire keyboard. So everything's on your left hand side of the keyboard now. Um, but outside of that, it's like if you could do a really good build order in StarCraft 1, like you can do that same build order in StarCraft 2 almost verbatim, which was really cool to see.
yeah, it's interesting. So it's like, I already fawned over F1 for Idle SCV or Idle Worker
Yeah, yeah.
because it works for all three races. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They also removed the limit on how many units you can select at once.
Mm-hmm.
So, no more being stuck to, like 8, was it for the PC and 12
12
for
and
the
18
N64?
for
Oh, 12
N64.
and 18. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew the N64 had more. Okay, yeah. It's been too long. But then there was also, which, with that being able to double click on a single unit to select all of them on the screen is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Having a single button to just say all of your available offensive
Yes.
units,
Yes.
select all,
Yep. Love that one.
So, that was neat, quality of life feature.
And then also being able to switch between special unit abilities while you have multiple units selected as well was a big
Yes.
deal because then you didn't have to manually click on
Yeah,
them or have a
when
hotkey to
yeah,
each
when
one. Like you could
yeah,
just
when you got a ground unit cluster, you have some siege tanks and some vultures, and you're like, well, I want to lay vulture mines, or I want to go into siege mode, and having to
hmm
deselect or everything like that. So
Yep.
yeah,
So that was
that's
another really good quality of life improvement added to the game, which makes a huge world of difference, especially if you're not good at the micromanagement and macroing and all that anymore. Once you're not into it competitively. So,
yep.
like, just really accessible features make it very approachable for any player skill level, which I find very, like, I'm very appreciative of that kind of an
Yeah.
approach nowadays, just because I don't want to have to freaking know life every single game anymore. Like, I
Yeah.
ain't young anymore.
Yep. Oh, another one though. So a plus and a minus on the resource management.
mm,
So, it's cool when you're like, you got your, like, say, SCVs in Wings of Liberty, harvesting either from your Vespine geyser or from your minerals, and it gives you a fraction. It tells you how many you have assigned out of the optimal number based on your distance from your command center,
yeah.
and everything like that. So that's really cool. So you can tell whether or not you need more SCVs mining or not,
Mm,
But the thing that annoyed me was losing the ability to like click on a mineral field and see how many minerals are left in it, so I can start planning when I need to expand my base out.
Hmm. I thought you still could. I might be misremembering. I didn't actually try.
Yeah. I don't know. When I was at least this last month while I was playing it, I wasn't seeing a way to see how many minerals were left in the field.
Yeah, I'll defer to you
Just-
then, because I didn't even try.
yeah. Uh, and there's gonna be somebody in the comments who's like, "Well, who cares how many you have? Expand when you want to expand." And I was like, "No, because I'm pumping that into military units. I expand when I need to, not before."
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. Like you can, there's multiple ways to play the game.
Yeah.
Strategy game. Like
Yeah.
if you're not playing online, it's not as necessary to quickly expand, and you get to take that approach.
Yep.
But that's the thing that bugged me the most about StarCraft II's multiplayer. Like all the expansions had friggin' rocks you had to destroy in them, so you couldn't do quick expansions as easily without units. And it's like,
Yeah.
dang, okay, fine. I mean, again, if you're doing optimal competitive, that's not a big deal, but I don't play that way anymore. So it's like, oh man, I just wanted to build a second command center over here real right off the rip.
I was like, "You don't like having the secondary program that runs in the background to tell you afterwards. It says you hotkeyed at 3.1 seconds, but you were supposed to hotkey at 3 seconds. You need to work on that."
Dude, I actually did do that on
I
StarCraft
was
1.
like, that's what I was saying. It's like, and there's going to be somebody hearing this who's like, "That's not a thing." It's like, no, it's a thing.
Oh, that was the
Their
thing.
pro, their programs, they tell you how many clicks per minute you're doing and how
The
many
game
hotkeys
itself
per
tells you
minute.
how much your CPM is now, but CPM is such a useless metric because you could just keep clicking and it counts for your CPM. Like it's such a useless metric a lot of the times because it's like just have someone that's super hyper and just keeps clicking move on their units and that just ups the CPM.
Yeah. In any case, yeah. To your point, it's like, uh, to don't have time for the competitive scene anymore.
Uh,
That adult life gets in the way of all the fun things.
I loved StarCraft 1 ladder, but it's like I never bothered from rip on StarCraft 2, especially after I played my first multiplayer match and saw that they removed almost all the original StarCraft 1 units from it that were in the campaign. I was just like, not interested, not interested. Like, why on earth would they remove medics and make you use that medical ship as your medic for Terran? Like, it's just not a fun design. And maybe I'll get my camera to focus on me again here. There we go. What's up? Anyway, but yeah, so like you were telling us earlier, multiplayer and single player have very different tech trees, and that is part of the reason why I never cared for the multiplayer in this game, uh, both casually and competitively. I'll play it like 2v2. I'll do like bot matches in it still, but it's like player versus player. I have no desire to play it that way, just because of the way they did the tech trees, and that's just a me thing. But yeah, it was a curious choice to do it that way. Because it's like there's not even Hydralisks in multiplayer. And it's like Hydralisks are like the most iconic Zerg unit, and they're not in the frigging multiplayer. It's like,
and and they're your workhorse. Like,
yeah,
they're going to be super important in the early game. And then, I mean, for me, you still keep a bunch of them around in your base. You keep them as mobile units per roll, checking your perimeters and things,
yeah, and they were so
able to
strong
respond,
against air and ground.
and air and ground.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And lurkers, and when Brood War came about, like they were great base defense for that reason too. And it's just like,
well,
and a siege
talk
unit.
about weird how how late they introduced lurkers into the game, because I don't think I don't think the lurker was in Heart of the Swarm, right? They didn't add that until Legacy of the Void.
I don't remember, to be honest. Like I said, I didn't get to Heart of the Swarm in this month's discussion, but like it's been too long since I played that. Was 12 years ago.
Yeah, but
um, but yeah, like I mean, I
yeah,
heavily used lurkers in Brood War.
oh yeah, they're great for defense, or when you want to be silly and troll the edge of your enemy's
Yep.
base.
plop one down right next to their friggin' mineral patch, and it's they're not paying attention, they're gone. Yeah, it was
Oh
great,
man.
great. But yeah, that really turned me off of multiplayer for the competitive scene, that's for sure. But one thing that StarCraft II did do incredibly right, in my opinion, for multiplayer was its further expansion of use map settings game types. It is just so good. So, Warcraft 3, I don't know if you played Warcraft 3 or not.
I did not.
Okay. So Warcraft 3 was the first Warcraft game like I really played. Like I had played Warcraft 1, someone let me borrow it and I played through it because you could literally edit the units, and so I made all my units like one hit kill madmen so I could get the story. But I never like really played through that game like legitly. And so
Mhm.
Warcraft 3 came out and I was like, dude, this looks pretty cool. Let's get Warcraft 3. I skipped Warcraft 2. I never played Warcraft 2. So I played through Warcraft 3 and I love the story of that game. The fact that you get like the one hero unit for like almost all the missions was really curious and like made it very difficult for me at first, but like I really enjoyed that system when I got used to it. I know kind of hit and miss for some people, but the one thing that Warcraft 3 was so cool with was the fact that it had such an extensive use map settings custom game types. And so like that's where things like Dota or yeah, Dota got started because of that. Um and so StarCraft 2 expanded on that even further, and there was just so many insane game types that you could play back when like it was brand new and like up until I stopped playing in Heart of the Swarm. Like there's so many cool maps that people had made. And we played a few things last year, but it scene seems to have like died down a bit, obviously, since it's so old. But like you can do so much with this map editor and game creator, and it's just insane. Like a lot of the apps that people made, they've turned it into standalone games for some of them, just like with Warcraft 3. So it's like that's so cool. Like that was so good.
It's cool to see them, look at what the fans are doing and, say, okay, this is working, this is what people want, this is popular, and, do something with it. So,
Yeah. And I mean, you're only limited by your creativity, um, rather than the tools this time around, it felt like. So like
hmm.
that was cool. Like they had models for stuff from a lot of their games in it too. So like that was really cool. Like, just like what the freak is that? Like, oh, that's from a completely different game. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't play with that mode myself, so I can't speak to it.
Yeah, we did a lot of tower defense ones in our stint last year. But yeah, it's there were so many cool maps. But that just kind of makes me more nostalgic for StarCraft 1 because there were so many fun UMSs that people had made for that too that I just spent so many hours playing back in the day. But yeah,
Oh man,
it was cool.
yeah.
Um
You you
but
touched on. Oh, sorry. Go on.
oh no, you go for it, go for it. Oh, my backpack's going overboard. Hold on.
There's an opportunity to take a drink.
All right, save my backpack. It still has all my stuff from the convention in it. That was good. Anyway.
Yeah, no, no, it's Lonely Island. So I threw it on the ground. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
happy birthday to the ground. But man, how old is that reference now?
Oh,
Is that like 2013 as well?
probably.
Man, okay. Uh, anyways, we won't go off a Lonely Island tangent. But I was to say, it's like you talked about how in the multiplayer the units are different than the campaign, and it's like we should talk about the campaign and some of the units and stuff because it's interesting because you get a blend of returning units from StarCraft One, and then you get new ones, and some
Yep.
of these are what I would call net new, just like entirely different and original ideas, and then others are like replacements for some of our old ones. Like
Guardians to
our old
Dragoons.
friend the Dragoon is not here anymore. Rip.
Yep, we get the Guardian.
The Guardian, and I'd argue the Stalker. It's kind of like two, like a branching path off
Yes,
of the.
yes, the Stalker. Yes, the Guardian's
Yeah,
the bigger one. The Stalker's the little one.
the Guardian's the little one who can do little blink teleportations.
Yeah, and that's an
Um,
interesting
and
ability. That's for sure.
and the Guardians all like, I'm bigger than a dragoon, but smaller than a siege tank.
Yep. And I'm only
Um,
good against buildings and heavier units.
yep, yep.
Oh man.
Oh man, but yeah, there's some interesting ones like the introduction of the Colossus for the Protoss,
Hmm.
a ground unit who's so tall that the air attack only units can hit him.
Yep. And
That's
it can
interesting.
walk up and down the terrain with its huge legs.
Yes,
That was a cool
stepping up
ability.
and down the cliffside.
That's a fun
Yeah, I
one.
mean, really cool, except for when you have to defend against it, and you're like, "That's cool, I guess,"
All right, we
but
got to put turrets everywhere. Um,
hurts everywhere.
and
Um,
then of course the Protoss also get the mothership, which is massive air
Mothership was
unit,
pretty
and then they
cool.
got those other crescent ships I can't remember the name of.
Yeah, they had a lot of new ships.
Yeah,
The Void Ray was cool.
yeah, the Void
Um,
Rays are deadly. Like
like,
that's
oh
insane
yeah,
how
the Void
strong they
Ray,
get.
like, I was just like, Void Ray is like my least favorite thing to defend against. You see
Yeah,
those on the field, and you're like, "Oh, here we go again,"
yep, because they can hit
But
further than your air defenses can hit, and the longer
yep,
they keep their sustained fire on, the stronger they get. And if
yeah,
they kill one of your things because they've managed to build up a full power beam, they're already on a full powered beam as soon as they start attacking your other thing, so it just
yep,
dies even faster. And so it's like Void Rays are Void Rays are crazy.
yeah. When you're dealing with Void Rays, you gotta have really strong air attack units. It's like
Hmm.
you gotta deal with them as soon as you see them.
Yeah, you can't let them
Like I
get
said,
started.
like Void Ray rolls in with Colossus. We're ignoring that Colossus. We're dealing with the Void Ray.
Yeah, it's true. Um, but yeah, like on
Um,
Terran, you get the Marauder, which is
Four.
like a replacement of uh, the Fire Bat. It just shoots grenades instead of flamethrowers, but it's a lot
Well, you
stronger
still
and
have the
slower.
Fire Bat.
Yeah, you get Fire Bats for
Yeah.
campaign. I don't think they're in multiplayer.
No,
I don't
but I
remember.
mean, who cares about multiplayer? I'm talking campaign
Yeah,
units.
it's true. Yeah, you get the
I mean,
Marauder. You get the Thors, which are like crazy better Goliaths.
yeah, with also, you
Thor
know,
is here.
I was gonna say a delightfully bad Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Oh
And
man, it's
it's
so good.
intentional, right? Because they could definitely get a voice actor to do like a spot on Arnold if they wanted. So it was very much a choice. They're like, this we're gonna have a guy be cheesy Arnold.
Yeah, I love it. Thor is here.
Yep. Oh man.
Oh man, the battle
Which also was
cruisers.
cool that you could do, an upgrade for the Thor where when he gets defeated, instead of exploding, he just like shuts down and then you can repair him. It's like that was super cool.
Yeah, I feel like that's a. I feel like they pulled that in from Command and Conquer 3 because when you would kill the bigger units in Kane's Wrath and Command and Conquer 3, it would crumble to the ground and die, but its husk would be there for quite a while, and you could send an engineer in to recapture it, and it would come back with like a quarter or half health. I don't remember exactly how much off the bat, and then you could go take it over and get it repaired. So like you could steal other players' big siege units like that, which was a really cool thing. So like, kind of feel like they pulled that in from that potentially. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm just bull crapping it out of my face right now, um,
That's
in that regard, but.
And we got the
Uh,
boss here, make sure we're doing things right.
oh, absolutely. Um,
Yeah,
but
I'm like, what else? Some of the units got some redesigns, like the fire bats, siege tank.
Siege Tank is
Um,
so much faster now to
yeah,
get set up. Like it was nice.
yep,
Um, the battle cruisers, I loved how the battle cruisers were now that they had multiple turrets that could like shoot things and made it look more
yes,
realistic.
yeah. You're like, it's a giant battleship. It doesn't have one gun. It
Yeah,
has
exactly.
armaments all around it.
Yeah, and so like it made that feel a little bit better. And obviously the scale of all the units and stuff are still like whatever. Like, cause like your Marines, like you
That's
can
the
fit
one
like
thing I
five
was like,
Marines on top of a battle cruiser all of a sudden. It's
yeah,
like what the
the
heck.
scale. But I was like, yeah, I was like, that's the one thing. The design on the battle cruiser. I'm like, what'd they do to my boy? They shortened him.
Did.
they made it more blocky, because they're like, we're gonna keep that width, but we're gonna reduce the length.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. Like StarCraft II shifted to full 3D instead of sprites of
Yeah,
StarCraft 1. So it's a fully 3D world with fully 3D units, and this is 2010, so it's kind of that in between era where like it just isn't the prettiest looking thing in the world, but it's still good enough and still looks
it
pretty
was still
darn good.
prettier than World of Warcraft.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
Um, so like it
but
looks
yeah, it was
good.
2000, 2010 when it was releasing. You know, a lot of people were still on Vista, so it's like, yeah, you could only push things visually so far.
Well, I mean, like, what was the graphics card that was out in 2010? I think I had a.
Oh man, I
I
don't even
bought a. No,
remember.
that's what it
Something
was.
like
I literally upgraded my computer specifically for StarCraft 2, and I bought an HD 5770, 1 GB
so
VRAM.
I I had a Windows XP machine still because Vista was such trash. I was gonna wait for the next
Unless you had the
generation.
32-bit version.
Yeah. So it would play Wings of Liberty, but then Heart of the Swarm came out, and it's funny 'cause you could check your specs, and I had like the bare bottom of the barrel. It said this will run if you set everything the lowest as it can go. And you know what? That was partially correct. It could play the levels. It couldn't play the cinematics.
Oh,
So
ouch.
I, so
Ouch.
after I convinced my wife with my brand new promotion job that I could afford this box, then I had to sheepishly be like, I need a new machine so I can understand the story and see what's going on in this game.
Oh, good times. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually the computer that I had until uh
yeah.
2015. I had built it
Okay.
in 2009ish, I think, but I'd gotten the HD 5770, and that's when I got my first 1080p monitor too. I got an LG 1080p monitor, and I had that until about 2016 when I accidentally kicked it because I had it set up on the ground and I was doing something with it, and I was like, "Oh, I need to go get something from the room," and I got up and swung my leg back out and accidentally just kicked it and just shattered the whole thing. It's like,
Sad
dang
day.
it.
Yeah, no,
Replace
we
that with
after
a
we
LG Ultra Wide that I still have storage.
nice. Yeah, did the Windows XP for Wings of Liberty, and then by 2013, Windows 8 was out. So, or 7, sorry, 7
I
was
think
out.
7 came out
So
in 2009, honestly.
maybe, but in any case, um, was 7 that early?
Yeah.
Anyways, anyways, I was able to get a machine that wasn't Vista, and so I could skip Vista, and because I didn't want an absolute dumpster fire of an operating system.
It's so funny how much hate Vista gets because it's like that was one of my favorite operating systems because I had the 32-bit version, so everything worked on it, even when it said does not work on Vista. And like, I'm seriously gonna stick to the
I
story
mean,
that it was because it was the 32-bit version. Because when I had
maybe
Windows XP 64-bit, nothing worked either.
maybe those just weren't ready for 64-bit at that point. I don't
I
know.
don't think so.
What I do know is like at that point, see, like I said, I was in college, but I'd go home on holidays and stuff. The family computer had Vista, and it wasn't good for anything besides like browsing the internet. And
Oh
even
yeah.
then, it would blue screen all the time. And
Oh man.
then my brother got a laptop, and it was Vista, and it was awful. So plus, the problem was I was going to school for IT, and when people find that out, all of a sudden your apartment complex they're asking you to help troubleshoot their computers, and yeah, all of those Vista machines. It's like get this garbage out of my face.
Oh man. Oh yeah. I went out and bought OEM disc for Vista like right when it came out, and like you can see there, 32-bit version. This
See,
isn't
the
my
funny,
original copy. I bought this one earlier this year to put it on my Ultimate Retro PC
nice.
instead of
It's
Windows
funny.
10.
One of the perks, my school was part of some Microsoft partnership program.
Oh, I
So
loved
be,
that.
being inside of the IT program, so it wasn't all students at the school. It was the tech fields.
Mm-hmm.
But I got access to basically like the full Microsoft software library minus the Office suite because they want the students to pay for that Office suite.
Yeah.
But like I could go all the way back and download Windows 3.1 and make a boot disk for it if I wanted, or Vista, which at the time was, their main thing.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
I got that too. So that's how it actually gave you those copies too. So it's like I got
Yeah, you owned them.
yeah.
Like
So I had like 2 product keys for XP Professional, 2 for Vista Ultimate, and then
Yep.
2 for 7 Ultimate, and then 2 for 8 Ultimate, or whatever
yeah.
8 was called. I don't remember, but like,
Mhm.
and then obviously after 8 came out, they let you upgrade your license to 10, and then from 10 to 11. So like, I'm still running off of those ones I got from school for Windows 8.
That's nice.
But
Yeah, good times.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the crazy thing about games back then too, because Windows Vista introduced DirectX 10, and it was
Mhm.
not available on Windows XP. So you would get games that would still work between XP and Vista, but you wouldn't get access to DirectX 10 on XP. So a lot of features would be missing. So, for example, Crysis was very different between XP and Vista. Um, Gears of War, I believe, ran on XP and Vista as well. No, someone hacked it to run on XP. That's right, because that was a Games for
I
Windows
wonder
Live
if that's
game.
why I couldn't watch the cutscenes for Heart of the Swarm.
I mean, potentially.
That'd be
Um,
interesting.
but yeah, I mean, I've always upgraded to the new Windows operating system as it was like coming out, essentially, because like I was really into it back then. Like I'm not as into that now, but it's like going from DOS to Windows 95 was a huge deal for me. And so then Windows 98 came out. I was like, yes, let's get Windows 98. And so we got Windows 98. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool. Learning about that. Skipped ME and went to 2000 because I was too young to understand that 2000 was NT based and not 9X based. Like
Mhm.
I understand that now, and I wish my camera would friggin' figure crap out here. Hello, right here. Um, but and then we went to XP, and like I actually convinced my mom to buy XP because I was like, it's called Windows XP. You know what that means? It means expert photo. And so my mom was into photography. She's like, it makes working with photos easier. I was like, yeah. She's like, oh yeah, we're gonna go get that. I'm like, yeah. And
It's like
so,
I worked at Game Crazy, and one time a kid came in with his mom to buy a game, and I can't remember which one it was. It might have been one of the like San Andreas or something, Grand Theft Auto,
yeah.
and our policy was we wouldn't sell M games to minors, without a
Mm-hmm.
parent. And I'm like, this game is M, and she's like, yeah, medium difficulty. He knows how to play. He'll be fine. And he looks at me with the bro please eyes. But this was a kid who would come into the store without his parents and be a douche to us. So I was like, no, 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 my friend, this is payback time. And it's like, read what that says in the littler words under M, and then let's flip it over and see what that says. It's like, and she was aghast, and it's like, we're not getting
oh,
this, and he was
oh,
defeated. And I'm
oh
like,
man,
that's what you get.
my last stint at GameStop. That was my favorite thing to do all the time. You get the little kid that comes in with a grandparent or their parents wanting to buy Grand Theft Auto 5, and this is like still a current story because Grand Theft Auto 5 has been around for 12 years and it's still being sold brand new, like new versions of it. Came out
Mhm.
like last year or the year before, right? It's like
Yep.
ridiculous. But no, it would come up with Grand Theft Auto 5 and I'm like, all right, so you know that this game is rated M for mature, correct? And like, yeah, I know, but he just wants to race. I was like, you understand that this game has very glorified violence, a lot of sexual content, a ton of nudity, and all this stuff. And she's like, down the kid, and the kid's like, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, she's
And
like, yeah, we're not getting
the
that.
kid, the
So,
kid knew. The
so
kid knew.
yeah, so they would go and put the display case back on the shelf, and the kid comes back up with Saints Row 4, and I was like, all right, so somehow you picked one that is even worse in that content description. And
That's funny.
it was so great. I was like, you literally get to take a dildo and beat somebody down with it in these games. And parents just like, Like, I'm gonna beat you when I get home.
Yeah.
That was literally my favorite thing to do the entire time I worked gaming retail. Just, oh, it gave me so much joy. Oh, but anyway.
Yeah. Apparently the kid had lied. E was for easy, M was for medium, and T was for tough. You know, it's like it was a difficulty rating, and I was like,
Oh
no.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. But yeah, anyway, StarCraft 2.
Nice try, kid. But
StarCraft 2,
yeah,
so much content in this game. That's the obscene thing about it. Like, if you get into StarCraft 2 now, there's the entire free-to-play segment of it, of multiplayer stuff and co-op, and then you buy the campaign, and you get all 3 campaigns that are 20-plus missions. It's crazy. And then you also can get, like, the Nova missions, which I did not play. I have never played those. I've been meaning to, but I haven't played it. But it's like a whole other little sub-campaign, my understanding, which is crazy to think about. And how cool is it that we actually get to see Nova in something after the cancellation of StarCraft Ghost?
rip StarCraft Ghost.
Rip StarCraft Ghost. I'm hoping that it leaks online one day because apparently it was pretty close to completion and they just canceled it because 360 and PS3 had come out. Rather than retooling it to those systems. It's like, dude, should have just released it on last gen. Friggin' who cares? Yep. Like, every single one of those systems would have been able to play it. Because PS3 was back compat at the time. 360 probably would have made it back compat pretty easily. And then, of course, GameCube games played on the Wii. So,
yep.
People would have been able to play it, but they're like, next gen, douchebags.
See, now I'm trying to remember when Activision got involved because I don't know if I can blame them for that one. I've blamed them twice already. I'd love to blame them a third time, you know. Joke of threes.
Just blame them. Just go ahead and blame them.
Thanks, Activision. Anyways.
I mean, next gen came out 2005, 2006 for 360, and then PS3 and Wii were obviously a year later. But it got canceled around that time, so I don't remember when Blizzard was acquired either. I don't care enough about Blizzard anymore to like keep a nice little like mental log of their history anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, you know, for me, it's just that I love the original StarCraft so much, and also an IP of theirs that does not get the love it deserves, the Lost Vikings.
Yeah. Did you see the Lost Vikings and the Art of Nintendo Power exhibit this weekend?
I did not see that.
That was pretty cool.
Cool. No, I love that they threw a Lost Vikings reference into Wings of Liberty because you can play an arcade cabinet in the bar.
Yeah. Right.
It's the Lost Viking.
That's right.
Because they introduced, you know, the new ship, the Viking, and so, you know, it's just fun.
Yeah, that's a good touch. Yeah, there's a lot more. Like, people remember Blizzard for Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo, but it's like they had quite a bit more than that back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, lots of console things that they did, you know, RC Pro-Am and Blackthorn and whatnot. But
yeah. Can we just take a second to commemorate Warcraft 3 of being the last Warcraft real-time strategy game, though, because somehow World of Warcraft is still ongoing 21 years later? Really didn't expect it to last this long.
Here's the thing. This is why I was so happy when StarCraft 2 finally came out, because I was so angry at World of Warcraft because, you know, Blizzard, and I understand it's a business decision. They were pulling all their people off of the other games to throw them into World of Warcraft. And it's because it was printing them money, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, back in the day, it was a $15 a month subscription. And man, was it 13 million active monthly users they had? Something like that?
Something like that at the peak, yeah.
At the peak, like, so, you know, 13 million people paying $15 a month. They were pulling in almost $1 billion a month.
Yeah, it's insane.
And it's like, yeah, you have overhead. You have the servers that you're paying for. You have your employees. You have the lease on your building. I get that. I'm not saying they had no expenses. I am saying they did not have $1 billion a month in expenses. And so at some point, you got to be like, hey, spare a little bit of money for some of the other games, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the freaking Call of Duty and Fortnite problem. Everything went to making those instead of all the other fun stuff that they used to do.
Thanks, Activision.
And Epic.
I was like, yeah, but Fortnite or sorry, no,
Call
Call
of
of
Duty.
Duty. That one I can very specifically blame Activision
Yes, you
for.
can.
Yeah, Bobby
Um,
Kotick.
yes, you can. But um, then they had that other MMO in the works, like what was it, Titan or something, that they ended up canceling.
Um, yeah, that one kind of fell apart.
Yeah, but I would have liked a World of StarCraft. I'm not gonna lie. I would have gone die hard for a World of StarCraft game that was like real time combat, not semi like
Okay,
fake turn based combat like World of Warcraft.
I would have probably just been on YouTube for the lore, like getting the cutscenes,
Yeah,
because I'm not an MMORPG guy.
I'm not either, but StarCraft probably would have gotten me to do it. Like I'm just saying, like, dude, I will be a friggin' Jim Raynor type, going around and doing whatever the frick that game wanted to do. I'd do it. And then it's like, all right, now we're gonna go work for the Dominion military. It's like, cool. Or you could go be a like you wouldn't be as easy to be a Zerg. I feel like since it's a hive mind. But like play as a Protoss too. Like let's go. The logistics behind it wouldn't work, and that's why it was never made. But
Yep,
that's why I was interested in StarCraft Ghost, getting that more like down to the ground feeling. So I don't know if you've ever played Command and Conquer Renegade.
I have not.
It is a first-person shooter set in the original Command and Conquer uh,
Oh,
world, and so you play as one of the
interesting.
commandos, and it's one of my favorite games. Like I love that game. Like it was so fun. The multiplayer on that one was a ton of fun too. But I was sad when they canceled Tiberium because it's like I really wanted another shooter-based Command and Conquer game like that, but they canceled it. But whatever. Still got Renegade. I still play Renegade quite often. Like I love that game. Um, but like that's why I was super excited about StarCraft Ghost. I was like, oh, we're getting the Renegade treatment for StarCraft. Like this is gonna be so good. You get to play as a Ghost, Nova, and it's like this is gonna be so cool. But oh well.
To be.
At least StarCraft II finally like brought Nova into canon and like
Yep,
let her be a thing, which is pretty cool. And
yep.
her faction in co-op's pretty fun to play as. And then I still need to play her missions because I think that could be pretty interesting and couldn't be any worse than Legacy of the Void. So the bar is not set too high for my expectations going into it. So like that's gonna be really
Challenger.
good. I'm sorry, like I just really did not like Legacy of the Void. Like the missions were okay, but like the story, like we said
The
numerous times,
story
was
was
just kind of
so weird.
stupid. Like it didn't make sense based on what you had done before. Like there's some threads there, but like it's just kind of it's that meme of like continue on like this story that we've set up or do our own thing, like the car meme of the off ramp, and yeah, it's just.
Yep.
But yeah, honestly, when it comes to StarCraft 2 nowadays, I think the lasting appeal of it now really is going to be the campaigns. And if you have friends to play with, the co op multiplayer. Obviously, people might still be really interested in the competitive scene, but I mean, it is 15 years since that scene started. I don't know how many people are still really into it. Like, I don't know if there's still esports events for
Or,
StarCraft 2 or
or how
not.
possible it is to break into it
Yeah,
when people have been playing
I
for
don't,
15 years.
yeah, I don't know who is honestly still into it competitively. Like you could still find matches online, of course, but like I'm not sure.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, actually, hold on. Let's pause for one thing too, because here's we got to call this out. We if we didn't call this out, we'd be doing a disservice.
mhm.
That this game in 2010 when it came out made two critical changes to StarCraft. One, that even though if you were only going to do the single player campaign, you had to be online. You
Mm,
couldn't just play this game offline.
yep, BattleNet
And the
login required.
and Battle.net login required.
Yep.
And two, they took LAN away from multiplayer. No more LAN parties. You have to
Mm,
do it online.
that's true. That is pretty stupid decisions they made.
And this is why this game didn't turn into a phenomena in South Korea, you know? StarCraft 1 was, a professional sport in South Korea, and StarCraft 2 shot itself in the foot before the race even started by nuking LAN.
Uh, like, it's like the
Because
online
there was
login
serious
required is one thing, but
there was
like,
serious
oh
online
man,
outrage. Yeah, and here's the thing too. Now that first one, people are probably like less like, well, yeah, I mean, you log in. It's like that was new. That was not a thing we were doing in 2010,
unless you were really into Steam at the time.
unless you were really into Steam. But most people weren't playing games in Steam. Most people were still buying a game on a disc, which this came with, and installing it and running it locally. Like
So we
this
talked about how StarCraft, like Wings of Liberty, when it came out, like you could install it, but then it still required all the updates and stuff to play.
Yeah, that's
Part
part
of the
of that online
swarm,
connection.
part of the swarm, when you put that disk in the drive, it is just a link to the online
Yes,
installer, and it is
yes.
pure download only. There are no files on the disk except a link to the online installer.
Yeah,
And
it's
that
basically it's an
pissed me off
authorization key.
so bad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because that game was like 30 gigs or something. It was insane.
Yeah, it was huge. And it was only on the disc. Like there was nothing on the disc. And it's like
No, the
that
disk just
is
was your permission key. You'd connect to Battle.net, and then Battle.net would download.
yep. And it was so stupid. And I don't know how Legacy of the Void is. It's probably the exact same thing because
Yeah.
I bought it online last year.
No, my disk, same thing. You put it in to trigger a download.
Yeah, it's so dumb. It's a worthless disc. It is a worthless disc.
I
And
mean, it probably
yeah,
has some fun art on it. I don't remember. It's been so many years since I looked at it now.
yeah. But I mean, it's so dumb that they did that. Like it really is.
But yeah.
Oh
So
well.
like, and that's the thing is like, so especially like for 2010, that was wild behavior. Like
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah.
just insane. And so yeah, lots of internet backlash.
Deservedly so.
Yeah,
Um,
it moved the industry in a bad direction.
yeah, well, I mean, it kept the push towards that bad direction alive, one could say.
Yeah. Yes, but the thing is, when it's Activision Blizzard, like, it's a key player in the industry.
Yeah,
So when they do a thing, it's like, yes, other companies have the choice to not do it, but big AAA studio doing it gives everyone else permission to be like, hey, they did it. We're just, this is what everybody does now.
yeah. Uh, yeah, unfortunately. And that
Yeah,
leads us
absolving
to,
themselves of responsibility.
yeah, and I mean, that leads us to the problems we're seeing nowadays with physical game preservation of a lot of games just being super incomplete on the disc and basically acting as
Yeah.
glorified game key cards to their own degree. Not all
Yep.
of them, obviously. There's actually quite a bit that aren't that way, but becoming less and less the norm, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah. Ugh. Anyway, um, there's so much to talk about with StarCraft 2, but like again, like the main selling points on the game for me are campaign and
Mm.
the co-op and the use map setting stuff that we've talked about. Uh, the story for 2/3 of it is pretty fun in my opinion. The other third, not so much. Some questionable decisions that are made throughout the whole thing, obviously, but overall, it's still a pretty
Aliens
enjoyable
meme.
ride.
Zelnaga with the hair all
Oh
floofed
my
out.
gosh. But yeah, I used to like StarCraft. StarCraft is one of those lores that I used to really, really be into. Like I still
Also, the
have,
first game was fantastic.
I have like 4 of the books that were
Yeah.
written back in the 90s, early 2000s. Um, and like StarCraft 1, like that was a huge deal to me too. But like Wings of Liberty kept that alive for me for a long
Yeah.
time, but like that was a big different part of my life. Like that's when I was going into the military and getting married and doing this other stuff. And uh but yeah, like Heart of the Swarm was a lot less impactful despite still being really good. But like that's when we were having our first kid and all that, so life just shifted. And then of course Legacy of the Void I just skipped outright until finally playing through it last year and then being incredibly disappointed by it. But it was a ton of fun getting to replay some of Wings of Liberty for this month's discussion because again it brought back some of that joy that the campaign had. Because like I really enjoyed the co-op stuff we were doing last year. Don't get me wrong, but like, oh, those campaigns were good. Old man yells at clouds.
That's all right. I was gonna say, I feel like because didn't you invite me to that? Because you said last year, it's like right. Didn't we do some weird multiplayer stuff in StarCraft?
Maybe I don't remember entirely, but
It was you, me, and some third guy, and you guys were just like picking maps and modes with zero explanation and just jump in and be like, okay, go. And it's like, what the crap am I doing? This mode makes no sense.
oh, maybe.
Like, where's my command center? You don't. You just move and you have a commander. You're going to trigger these. And I'm like, I didn't realize we were playing League or Dota or Hearthstone or whatever. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing right now?
Press F in the chat for RTS becoming frickin' MOBA, though.
Yeah.
You know what I want to have happen over the course of the next few years, potentially? I'd love to see this game ported to Switch 2. Now that it actually has a mouse. Like, it has mouse controls in the Joy-Con. You could build some weird controller hotkey system for the other Joy-Con, but, like, the fact that the Switch 2 can, like, have mouse controls makes it very open to games like StarCraft II being really good for the system.
See, it's got the USB ports on it too, and you can plug in,
I know, but that's
keyboard.
harder on a couch.
Yeah.
But along those same lines, Company of Heroes, the original game Company of Heroes and its expansions, got ported to Switch in 2023. I'd love to see a Switch 2 patch for that to bring back mouse control. I'd buy that game instantly.
Well, man can dream.
I can.
Also, what is it? Stormgate? Is that the game being developed right now by some of the former Blizzard devs? There's an RTS. I think it literally this week left beta.
Oh, nice.
And it's got some of the people who worked on StarCraft II and Warcraft 3.
Oh, that'd be good.
And yeah, they had a Kickstarter to get it going. It's like I think it's on like version 0.8 or something like that. But in any case, go nudge them and be like, "Hey, Switch 2."
No joke. But anyway, I think I shared my final thoughts on StarCraft 2 that I want to commit to video, I guess.
Yeah.
But do you have any final thoughts on StarCraft 2 for us, Wiz?
I mean, it's fun. I think as a whole, like, it's got great quality of life features that make the gameplay better than the original. But I think the story and the narrative in the original game are stronger for me than StarCraft 2. So, make your decision on which one's more important, a good story or really modern, gameplay elements.
Yeah.
I personally find myself going back to play StarCraft 1 a lot more than I find myself going back to play StarCraft 2.
Same. I agree with that.
If I had to rate this out of 10, I might do like a 7.5.
Yeah, and I already said I'd give it an 8 now after Legacy of the Void. But yeah, so StarCraft 2 is still available on battle.net, or the Blizzard launcher as it's called now, I guess. But you could play a good selection of the multiplayer and co-op modes free to play. Campaign, I believe, is normally $30 now to get all three of them. And I believe that includes the Nova missions as well now. I don't know quite off the top of my head, but definitely a good price to pay, especially 15 years later, because you're still getting like 60 plus missions of gameplay. And there's numerous difficulties, loads of achievements if you are an achievement whore like myself, but I thankfully did not get sucked into Battlecraft or StarCraft achievements.
I don't care, honestly. Mostly I think it's rude. They don't tell you what the achievements are until after you finish the level. So you're like, oh, I could have done that if I'd known you wanted me to.
Yeah, yeah. But check it out. And thank you for joining me and Wiz on this month's discussion of StarCraft 2. Hope you enjoyed it and all of our lovely little offshoots like every month. But Wiz,
Thanks,
thank you.
Activision.
But Wiz, thank you for joining me again. As always, appreciate you being a part of these every month. And next month, for the month of August, this month, because this is super late again, but we are doing Mega Man X4, so that's going to be a really lively one. So looking forward to that. And leave us your thoughts on StarCraft 2 in the comments below, as always, because we'd love to hear how you got started with the game and what you think about it, because it's a ton of fun listening to people's stories on awesome games. But take it easy, everybody. We'll see you back next time.
Bye.